people can see us now. It might become a thing.
Boodle?
It might be a thing.
Court the boodle.
Is that why nobody's
That's
like?
why no one's voting for boodle, because they're like, I'm not gonna vote for this.
What is a boodle?
Used to be a
Blah blah
bottle.
blah, which I love, says Diet Coke is great, but Diet Pepsi is the real goat, which is what I'm talking about. On this,
That is
the
trash.
boodle. Oh my gosh, it totally says boodle.
Diet Pepsi is garbage.
It's not
Like
garbage.
even worse garbage than regular
It's a Canadian
Pepsi.
bottle, says JKJ. Exactly what you were just saying.
Canadian bottle. That's what I thought.
I had a good drive-through experience this morning. There was like nobody in line, I think, and everything.
Really?
I think everybody was just happy to see me, to see somebody.
Oh
They're
my
just kind of like, they're there. They're like, well, I'm here this early. What am I doing here this early? Court
They were
Lalonde
happy
says
to
that Diet
see-
Coke is garbage.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree.
How
with
does it
you.
compare to a boodle, though, Court?
How does it compare to Diet Pepsi?
Diet Pepsi is actually like,
disgusting.
actually has flavor. Diet Coke is like, it tastes like the can that it comes in.
You drink it all the time.
Clip it. You drink it.
You drink it all the time. What are you talking about?
Diet
What
Coke,
it tastes
no,
like?
Diet Coke in a can tastes like the can that it comes in. Diet Coke from McDonald's is very different. This is something I feel like.
Okay.
Court
What
says I
about
have issues
Sprite?
right now. Easy there, buddy. Oh, Sprite's delicious.
In any account?
Yeah, I think so. Well, cans as well. But I'd take a Sprite in any fashion. Sometimes I think that in the same way, like 7-Up, I think is more flavorful, but it might be too much flavor compared to a Sprite.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want like a nice, easy, like non-cola, you know?
Right. Have you seen, you probably haven't seen, you're not on TikTok. There's like a challenge right now of everyone trying to drink an entire 20-ounce bottle of Sprite
Oh, without
burping.
I've seen Coke, but it's impossible. And don't do that to yourself. That's very dangerous. You might explode. You might rupture something. That's not very good. It's too much flavor. 7-Up, like compared to Sprite, 7-Up is kind of a lot.
Oh, let me.
Do you remember when it had a mascot? Fido Dido? You remember Fido Dido?
No.
That might have been Canadian thing. Court was Fido Dido Canadian. Court's not only Canadian, but also of the age that he might remember. This sort of
There's-
thing.
So much Canada. Like I've
course
never
it-
known so many Canadians.
We're all here.
You're all here.
We all just like came out of the log cabin.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Fido Dido is very Canadian. He says, good hair day. I haven't done anything. This is how I wake up and I get out of bed. I just told Caito I slept in a little bit. I meant to jump on the bike and do a little something. That'll have to happen at lunchtime. But we'll see. I love your sweater, by the way. Look at us both in like our hoodies today.
I love a good hoodie.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it. This is my favorite hoodie too because of
Oh,
the
it's
way
very
that the
comfy.
hood is.
Does it fit over your...
Well, it's got like my big head, yeah. But it's got
Your-
like this extra
That's not
panel.
what I said.
It's got this extra panel at the top, so it doesn't have like the weird. You know, some hoodies they have like the weird point.
Cone. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
little
it kind of...
cone situation.
Little Pikmin head.
This one does not.
No, I
It
got
does
it.
not.
An Ari
So-
hoodie.
Airy, yep.
Oh, I say it wrong.
That's where it's from.
AIRY would be Airy. That's Ari, like Ari Gold.
Yeah.
You want to talk about how I was right?
Okay, we're gonna get into this. Yeah. We're gonna get into it.
my super edited clip of me being
Right.
right and claiming rightness.
Right.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Right.
I was there.
Yeah.
Brendan Myers, JKJ, Clover, Corey, Court, Brendan Myers again. Look at everybody's here. Antics is here. What's up, Antics? We're gonna get
If
started.
anyone's here who has not subscribed to Rybo,
Mm,
go subscribe to Rybo. By the way, just want to say that.
We need a
7
button for
away from 100 subscribers, so go do that.
okay, I thought you
yeah.
were saying he was close when he was at like 75. Like I saw him last at 75. I didn't
No,
realize it was in
7
the
away.
90s.
93.
Okay, Rybo.
I just checked.
Rybo's gonna come take us over. I see what's going on here.
just
kidding.
checked. So close.
I'm
Okay,
disappointed that
what are we
Cato's
talking-
cam isn't just the Squishmallows and Palm Paws.
Oh,
So get the hell out of the way.
I know. I mean, people tell me
Apparently,
to hide my face all the time, but wow.
I've never
I
said that. I've never said
okay.
that. Not me.
I can I can make that happen. I don't even have to be on
I
screen.
ironed a shirt today. Later on, I'll wear an actual
Man,
ironed shirt.
steaming is the way to go.
It just
I'm
doesn't
sure y'all
work
have a
out for me.
steamer.
Yeah, Chelsea had one, and I don't know. It's a whole thing. Episode 52.
52.
Let's do this. Okay.
That's a year.
Uh, I actually think that makes it worse. I think that disrupts the vocal cords, and then I have my voice crack.
Hey, it's me.
That was really good. Now people are gonna run into your room going like, "What's going on?" I scream in my basement, and everybody goes,
There's no
"It's
one here today,
you
so
have an empty house."
empty house
Okay,
for an hour.
we'll get ready for this. Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most wholesome Nintendo podcast on the internet. It's the Nintendo Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Console Caito, the sauciest potato, and on our journey today, that Mario movie's coming out next year, and I was totally right, so jump on into the Nintendo Drive. Oh, I threw it in there.
Here we go!
Hello, Console Caito.
Hi, John Capri.
I wanted to refer to you as something about the squishiest potato, like, but as like, you can hear my brain kind of like go to two places at once there. Like, I thought about it while speaking and screaming, decided not to, went back to last
Right.
minute train tracks back
Right.
on track. Mm-hmm.
Probably for the best. I mean, I wouldn't take offense, but
Yeah,
other
but I
people
mean-
might for me on
This
my
is-
behalf.
This is the better way to do it, actually, because because I still get to say it, but with a lot more context and not just like blurt
Right.
something out stupid. But at least
Oh my
acknowledging that I realize that might
gosh.
not have been the best thing to say. But I want to
That's good.
reference this Squishmallows. They're very,
I like a
they're
little
very cute.
self-reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have any of my real squishmallows up here. I just have my fake potato squishmallows.
How many do you have at this point? Do you have a count going?
I don't have a count. I'm scared to count.
You need like a spreadsheet list so that when you walk into a store and you go, "Do I have this one already?" I can't mentally keep track of the dozens that I already have.
Oh, no. I already know how many I already know like who I have.
Okay.
I just don't know how
Who?
many I have.
Not.
Well, they all have their names. They
Do
all
they
have
really?
their little, yeah, they have little personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
Their
Different
bios.
voices.
I bought one the other day
Accents.
just because I liked her bio because she likes to take naps and eat chicken nuggets. And I was like, I have
That's
to buy
actually
you.
like on your
'Cause
bio.
that's me. That's me.
I feel like
It was
I feel
a
like I've seen
pink
that.
cat. It was
Oh
a
my!
pink
And of
cat
course,
who
it was a
likes
cat.
to sleep and eat chicken nuggets. And I was like, yep, this is mine now.
Oh my
Thanks.
gosh! Are these things huge, or is it just an Animal Crossing thing? Like, are they becoming? I like. It's funny because I saw you vlog about them, and then a week later they show up at like Easter for my kids, and
Right.
I lost my mind more than anybody because I was thinking of you and all this stuff, and I was just like, I got a little embarrassed. Like, I just couldn't believe Squishmallows were in my house. I had nothing to do with it.
I think they are. And it's one of those things where it's like you don't know until you know, and then it's all you see.
Everywhere. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like it was like the second that I started getting interested in them, now it's like my entire life has become one big squishmallow. I think they are big because, there's like Facebook groups, they have limits on how many squishmallows you can buy. It's like
Oh,
Beanie
that's how
Babies
you
all
know.
over again.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. That's exactly how you
Yeah.
know. Pokemon
So-
cards and everything. It's like, but how many toys are there? How many like squishy like stuffed animals are there? This is like the Beanie Babies. Like, what is it about some of these that just make people go crazy about some of these ones?
I don't know.
It's got to be one, I guess.
Well, they continue to come out with more.
Mhm.
They've done it right because they're exclusive. Different ones are exclusive to different places. So like Walgreens has certain ones,
Mm.
Hallmark has certain ones. There are some that overlap,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of exclusives. Like there are certain exclusives to stores in Canada. So if you want the ones from Canada, you gotta know some.
Okay, now you've piqued my interest here a little bit. Now, how is your fighting other moms skills or other Squishmallow hunters? Like, are you?
Oh gosh, I'm not good.
I
I'm
feel like
not
you
good.
get like
I'm
a good
such
just
a
sidestep in.
pushover.
No way. Like you just get a
I'm
little.
such a pushover.
You don't have to like square off against somebody. You just get a little like trip in there. Like I feel like you get a little like ninja. Just run alongside somebody, see how
I'm
bad they want
nervous
it.
because I am nervous because there's like, oh gosh, the judgment I'm about to. There is a Squishmallow event that happens. I think they happen like bi-weekly or something at a store here called Five Below. I don't know if they have those in Canada, but so like every other Sunday or every third Sunday, they release the new Squishmallows and they do like a Squishmallow drop on Sunday morning.
Amazing.
And so on Sunday morning, this
It's
potato
on.
is going to be hanging out at Five Below. I'm going to try to get my. They have the Bigfoots. They have some Bigfoots, and I need those Bigfoots.
So you're literally watching people make a choice between church on Sunday morning or
right. Or
Squishy drop.
Squishmallows. I hope they all go to church, and I'll be at Five Below.
Exactly. That's what you can. Well, people are there. That'll be their test.
I mean, I do live in Alabama.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
chances
saying.
are very high that everyone else is going to be at church.
I think you're onto something here.
So we'll see.
It's pretty good.
You know, that's enough Squishmallow talk. My goodness.
I could have gone on for another 20 minutes, to be honest with you.
So we even have to talk about nothing has happened. We don't need to talk about Splatoon or any of those things.
It feels like forever ago that even happened. I guess it was maybe like the couple days after we last recorded, but we'll just have to start a daily show where like twice a week we talk about Nintendo news and everything in between is just soda.
It's just talking. Yep.
Squishmallows.
It's basically like our own version of Sweet Hangs where we just talk about whatever.
That's fun. That's all I'm after in all this. People think I'm joking around with this. I just want to hang out with people. Like that's all this is.
Right.
Like, also a podcast gets made sometimes.
Scheduled hangout time.
There couldn't be a more Sean Capri thing than that. I want to have just casual hangouts, but they've got to be specific with hard outs.
Oh, yeah, that's it. I mean, I think you're onto something though, because
it's adulting, man.
The hard out is nice sometimes. It's like, okay, I've had enough of my hangout time with you.
Nobody wants to have that person like they're about to leave and then they're out the door, they got their shoes on, hand on the handle, and then they launch into so I got to tell you something about my marriage right now. And like, yeah,
right.
We just did that for like 2.5 hours. Maybe next time, like pin it. We'll save it for the pod. We'll save it for next time.
Save it for the pod.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we supposed to do something at the beginning?
What?
Like, I don't know, clean the garage or something.
Clean the garage? Yeah, I was getting into it.
I know.
I'm
making fun of us.
Oh my gosh. Reminder, as always, you can listen to the Nintendo Drive and all of the Carpool Gaming podcast content on YouTube, youtube.com/carpoolgaming. We have 2 comments this week. One from Courtney who says, the live format is so fun. I definitely forgot it was going to be live. Do we really think Splatoon is big enough to be the main holiday game? Well, it's not.
It ain't.
So apparently not. And another comment from Brian. Great episode, guys. I think the live format works great here. Both of you jive really well with the chat. I'm sure it can be difficult at times. I believe it was Sean that mentioned Bobby would take live calls from listeners on his show. I think that would be a lot of fun to do, but I'm guessing someone would have to screen calls beforehand. And
Bobby did do that in a show called Red Shell Radio, which Bobby had great names for his shows. And I did want to address this just because it's a great idea. I think it might be outside of the show if we were to ever do that. Because, yeah, you're right, Brian. We would probably need some sort of screen or something, like some sort of flow on Discord. Because even, it's cute to kind of
risky.
It's a little risky, but we're all friends here and everybody's in the Discord. I feel like everybody who's here in the chat, like they could jump on and we would have a great time. But it's just a little bit different. So maybe the next set of Patreon goals we just keep adding shows.
Just keep adding podcasts.
Speaking of scheduled hangouts, like it's a scheduled hangout that you step in line for, get the queue that you can hang out. It's it's kind of douchey. I think
I feel like that would have to be like a once a month thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Once a month thing.
Yeah. Oh, like patrons only, Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Yep.
Exclusive.
It's going on the whiteboard.
Yeah. We need to have, oh my gosh, can we have that soundbite of exclusive and just put it
Every
on our
time it
stream
comes
decks.
up.
Every
Yeah.
time it comes up.
Exclusive world premiere.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll work on
So
it.
you were on another podcast this week?
All End podcast
Another?
with, I know. And this one was like, this was a segment of the podcast. I was on for an hour. This podcast is a long one. All End podcast with my good friend Seth Sturgill. Just one of like the best human beings like on the planet. Like he's just amazing. I love him. I love his beard. He's a wonderful podcaster. And he invited me on because the Game Boy was celebrating its 33rd anniversary. So it's
33rd.
all right, sure. I guess I'll be back next year for 34 and the following year for the big 35.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
been
know it
around
was
for a
older
while.
Than me.
It's
older than me.
I didn't realize you were younger than 33. Maybe I did. God, I feel old
32.
sometimes. Yeah. Oh man, I'm ancient. Anyway, I had a great time with Seth. I want to encourage people to go click on the links in the show notes, check that out, because we talked about like what it was like when it came out, but also just my memories going to buy one. I told the story of going with my dad in his 1977 Volkswagen Rabbit to Superstore, a grocery store, going to the photo lab and buying it there. So if people want to hear all about that, it was a bit of a nostalgia trip on that. I got so excited by this, by the way, that I went onto a website called Lukey Games, which kind of refurbishes and resells.
Of course you did.
And I bought a Game Boy Pocket. I bought a yellow Game Boy Pocket. It's going to be
You
here
don't
in a
even
couple weeks.
need the Game Boy games.
No.
I want a custom Game Boy. I've seen a bunch on Instagram. I want like a custom, like a console Caito custom
Oh,
Game Boy.
That's a good idea. Where do you
To pay for them.
Yeah. Well, let's
looks really
start
cool.
a GoFundMe. How is Caito supposed to go on? We can make it like super sappy
How
and everything.
do I go on without my...
So
Oh my gosh. Lee Navarro says I don't look older than 25. That's so nice.
I would say the same
Throw
thing.
that in there.
I got distracted by
it's the lights. It's the light.
earlier.
You see me in real life and I look like 45.
Yeah, actually, I feel the same thing. Like, because I've got like these bright lights right here. I'm just like bleach everything out. Just like get the bags and the lines and the tiredness, everything. Just get it all as white as possible. Apparently, I wanted to. We were talking before, I think even before we went into cleaning the garage, because while you were talking, like you were saying something, but all I could think about was your little pig in front of you, and I was imagining that is your microphone, and broke my brain a little bit. Like you can speak into it as if it's your microphone. It's just like sitting in the right place.
Yeah,
it's the cutest microphone I ever saw. Look at that.
I know, he is very
sweet, very sweet.
So which one did you go with? What color?
I went with yellow. I would have liked to go with green because that's the original color that I got. My old brick one was a green one, but that yellow one was just kind of, it was between yellow and red, and the red one was actually $50 more. I think I probably would have liked the red better, but I couldn't justify it. So step one is a Game Boy Pocket coming in the mail, and then step two is buying way too many Game Boy cartridges, actually. And where I almost went, what's that?
Is it backlit?
No, it's like it's an OG, just get under the street
lamp. My custom one, it's gonna be backlit.
Have you seen like those analog pocket things? They're they look like a Game Boy Pocket. You can load them up with ROMs. You can get like adapters in the back so that you can put Game Gear games in them and a whole bunch of other handheld stuff. Like there you go, and it's very modular. Like you can get a dock so you can connect it to a TV and stuff. But it's like $200 just for the unit, then $100 for the dock, and it's like $50 for this and $25 for like it. I was almost ready to order it, and then I'm looking at my total, going, I can't drop this kind of cash on this thing. So it's on the birthday list. I sent it over to my wife, and I was like, this would be real cool for Father's Day or birthday or Tuesday, like whatever you want to.
Whenever you want to give me one.
Just whenever. That'd be sweet.
Oh my gosh. I figured out the name of that game. We were talking about, I think it was last week, the Sega game. Baku Baku is what it was called.
Oh,
I want to know, has anyone else ever played this game? If not, you need to go look it up. Baku, Baku. And it was just like, you had these little animals, and it was like Tetris pieces, and the animals would have to like eat the corresponding food.
That sounds like a Caito game.
It was so cute. I loved it.
Right
so,
from the
but
beginning.
It was also like quirky and weird at the same time. I think you can play it on an emulator. I was trying to find it, and I was like, I'm going to stream this.
I like to think of Caito as a kid, but like with the same size glasses. So you're just smaller, but the glasses are ginormous on your
Oh yeah.
little baby head. Yeah, I think that would
Yeah.
be very cute. Lee
Little
says,
baby
I've seen you in
head.
person. You don't look older than 30. I'll take that. I was on the news in Rome, New York for Extra Life last year, actually, and I was being interviewed, and they usually ask like your name and how old you are, and she laughed when I said 37. Like she actually she almost fell off her chair. Like I think this is good.
What?
Yeah, she was very surprised. I think because I was playing video
Because you were
games for
playing
so
video
long.
games for 24
I'm wearing a
hours.
Super Mario hoodie or whatever I was wearing. You're 37? Yeah, I'm a man.
Loser.
I'm a grown up. I'm here by choice. What are you gonna do about it?
My gosh.
It's very sweet.
Okay. Well, did you play anything this week?
Splatoon to celebrate that I was right. My son was actually asking me to try a bunch of different weapons. He never liked the shirt I was wearing. He never liked, this is classic father-son, I think, dynamic. He's like, Dad, those are the wrong shoes. That's the wrong shirt. So he had me change out
Yeah.
all my gear.
He has not been happy with your decision making.
It felt very much like Kirby. Exactly what
Yeah.
the story is telling about Kirby. And very similar kind of results because like he kept going like, choose the bucket, choose the roller. I'm like, I don't want a bucket. Like
Oh, the bucket's the worst.
he made me play with the bucket and I dead last. And I wanted to like message everybody I'm playing with, like, sorry, my son's making me pick
kid.
the thing. Yeah, like this guy over here. But then I started winning with the bucket. So I started to figure it out eventually, but it is different. There's a lot to do. There's a lot. Here's the thing. I go into the weapon store for probably the first time in 3 years, and they just talk for all the updates, all the newly added weapons or whatever that they've done.
yeah.
Like you can't skip it, and it was brutal.
Awful.
Yeah. So
awful.
fix that, Nintendo, please.
Yes.
I ain't
Oh
putting
my
up with that
gosh.
anymore.
Well,
How about you?
that brings us into, I didn't play anything.
Okay.
So that brings us into the news for this week. If you haven't played the Splatoon 2 DLC, it is now free for Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass users. Just adding that value to our wonderful NSO.
Huge
I just
value.
would like to say that me and Sean
We were
Capri
right.
have been on board the whole time.
Day one.
Never doubted.
Mm-hmm.
Never doubted Nintendo.
Yeah, that's
we would
right.
never do that.
That's what we're here for.
And then they announced Splatoon 3 is coming out in September.
What
And
month? What month was
Sean
that?
is-
What month?
Sean is claiming all of this rightness as if I disagreed. You're spinning it into this thing where I was saying something different. Was I?
I don't
Did
remember.
I say I didn't go back and watch?
I didn't go back that far. I was literally just looking for the clip where I'm like, because first of all, I didn't even remember what I said. That's like the magic of podcasting, and like you don't know it unless you know. But I was like, what did we even say? So I was starting to scrub through, and I magically just landed on the part where you said, what does that mean for September? And then I just say Splatoon, and then I just like launched into this
That's
stupid laughter. But I think it was
Yeah.
because like nobody wanted to hear September for Splatoon.
Right.
Especially when you think about summer. And the thing I think where you were going was, is September technically summer? Is that acceptable as part of the window?
You're right.
Tony
right.
Baker, I think, was in the chat saying technically it's until September 20th. So I said it's about they're going to
They're
push it as
pushing
late.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But and for me, that's not summer in my
Exactly.
brain. But I mean,
I don't think
they
for me
just-
either, especially not for Canada. Like
They-
we're setting up for Halloween at this point.
They need to stop saying summer. They
Yeah.
need to just, I don't know. But I guess they say holiday or
I know.
this or that. So
And holidays went different than winter as well. That's even harder.
right.
Winter, I feel like is like they say winter to Canadians. It's just like, all right, so 2022, like
and
all
that
year.
goes through March or something.
What is the cutoff date? Yeah. I also like that you have a little Yeti, like a little cozy for your can of Coke
yeah.
there. Yeah, it's very sweet.
Because I'm a very slow
yeah.
drinker,
Mm-hmm.
consumer of drinks.
Yeah.
So I have to have my Yeti.
It's a good idea.
It will be, and it keeps it cold for a long, long time. Like I could have this all day.
That Yeti stuff is
just-
freakish, man.
But yep.
Use the
It's good.
code carpoolgaming at yeti.com when ordering. No, you don't get anything from us. But it
don't
looked
have
like
any
you were
codes.
hiding the logo. It looks like you were trying to like
Oh yeah, none of that free promo over
exactly Coca-Cola.
here. Although we talked about Coke and Pepsi. I mean, I bashed Pepsi, so we're never gonna get that sponsorship.
Damn it. Well, we're not getting McDonald's either. I'm there every damn day, multiple times. I saw the same drive-through person at least 3 times yesterday.
I mean, do you ever say anything like, "Hey,
No.
sponsor me"?
No. Hey, 16-year-old who works the drive-through.
They would be like, "What?
Who are you? Yeah, just get out of here, you weirdo, with your Diet Cokes and your coffees. What are you doing with this stuff?
What if we did have carpool gaming Yetis?"
We could throw a
Those would be
sticker on
cute.
that.
Yeah.
Throw a little Bobby
Bobby
sticker on that. I think that's what I should do with these things.
Yeah. I need
Yeah.
a Dr. Pepper sponsorship. 100%. Bree,
You'll get
thank
it.
you for that.
You'll get it. GlassesUSA.com.
GlassesUSA.com. Yep.
So I was
okay,
right.
so-
That's the moral of the story. I think it's fascinating that Nintendo kind of showed their steps here. They first moved Xenoblade up a little bit, and then they put this one where I thought they were going to put it. And it's just like what a game they've been playing this entire time, where they can just go, this one's ready, this one's ready, this one's ready. We'll see how everything else turns out, and we'll just move things around. Like, I don't think we've ever seen it so transparent before.
Right.
They basically just made a swap. Like, I have no doubt, because they said summer before, where maybe they wanted it in July. Maybe they wanted that to be their July game and Xenoblade to be their, obviously they planned for Xenoblade to be their September game. So now it's a little swapped. But Splatoon does feel like a summer game. It should be like, you come in from outside, you're playing in the pool, like you're playing in the backyard, whatever, playing with the kids, go to the water park, come back in, you play Splatoon.
I don't know though. I'm not disappointed in this because
Oh, okay.
now it gives me a chance to play Switch Sports
Oh, yeah.
without, another game coming out like
True.
right after.
Mhm.
I'm not going to play a Xenoblade, so I
Yep.
don't have to worry about that.
There,
So I've got
that's
time to play
that's the key.
sports, and then Splatoon will come out in a few months, and we'll be good.
Well, Strikers is going to take you away. It's going to challenge sports a little bit. That's the only
True.
thing. We got that one coming up. But it's a good
When
point,
does
because
that come out?
like next month. So we got I think it's May, isn't it? Maybe June. But yeah, we have sports at the end of this week, which I'm going to be pushing kids out of the way, going to
Yeah.
get that game. And then Strikers.
And-
But yeah, like if you're not thinking that Xenoblade's on your radar, then this is no issue for you at all.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm going to be still playing. Well, yeah, no, I'll probably still be playing Xenoblade. I'll still be playing Pokemon Diamond, for God's sakes.
Are you going to be playing Xenoblade? Did you finish the second one?
Not yet. It's on the docket. I'll
Okay.
get to. Well, I mean, Xbox isn't releasing anything apparently, so I'll just be playing Switch
Ever.
all year. I did fire up
They're
Pokemon
just over
Arceus a little
there
bit. I'll finish that too.
Floundering with Halo and just ruining everything.
Yeah,
so.
that's a whole other
All right,
mess.
so I want to talk a little bit more about Splatoon 3 here because
Okay,
I
let's do
want to know, what are we hoping for with this game?
Yeah.
I want to know,
I
what
wanna,
are your
like, party up.
expectations?
Like for me, I want the gameplay to basically, I want my turf war, but I actually would like to see like all the other modes just everywhere. Because like anybody who's played casual Splatoon, you probably just know it as turf war. But like unless you've played ranked or something, you don't know any of the other modes like tower, whatever the heck it is. Like I barely even know it because I just played turf war for years and years and years, and I was always scared of ranked mode. Like why don't we have a little bit of a mix? I think that would be great. I would like Salmon Run to be just like all the time because I actually played that for the first time this weekend, and Crashy came in and was like, here's how you do it. And I'm like, that mode is deep. Like I had no idea all the thought that you had to go into that thing. So
Right.
I just wanted a little bit like everything just more accessible, a little less Nintendo dictating what I need to be doing and when I need to be doing it. And a little just like open it up completely would be kind of where I
Yeah.
would start.
Yeah, I agree. I want to be able
Tower
to
control.
invest a lot of time into it
Mm-hmm.
and get access without getting frustrated. That's my issue with Splatoon. Is I always get frustrated about something and then I stop.
Yeah.
And so I've never really invested a ton of time. I didn't really play the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I got the second one. It's a game that I think I could really, really enjoy. But it was like I would try to play with friends, and you can't actually play with your friends. You can maybe play with them, but you also play against them. And then
Yeah.
unless you get to a certain rank. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get to the certain rank.
Right.
I just want to play with my friends.
Especially right out of the gate, like it totally it eliminates the opportunity for so many people who's going to stick around with it that long to even get ranked. Some people will just flat out never get ranked. So yeah, it kind of
Right.
just precludes all of that stuff. Even the ability for you and I to play together in a public match is a pain in the butt. So if it's
So bad.
if it's just you and I have to go jump into a public game, and then you have to join me and hope that there's room for
And
it. So
hope. Yep.
that's a pain in the butt if it's just you. You fire up like a group of people if you're hanging out in Discord or whatever, and you want to do like 3 or 4 people. That last friend
So
is going to be
bad.
waiting for a long time for that room to open up. So yeah, like what I want out of Splatoon, it's really funny because I don't really go to the gameplay first at all, which I should. When I'm thinking about a sequel, I should think about like what more do I want to do in this world, and what other things do I want to experience. With Splatoon 3, I just go to like to your point, I don't want to be frustrated the whole time. I don't want to be waiting for them to start the game. I don't want to be waiting for them to explain all these weapons. Like it's a little
Yeah.
self-indulgent on that end. But yeah, like they could kind of come over the top with game modes and that stuff, but I just want the rest of it cleared up and I'll be happy.
That's what I think.
More
I think all of
Splatfest?
all of the existing game modes, great.
Hmm.
Just fix the other stuff.
Yeah.
And like you said, the dialogue. I don't want all that dialogue at the beginning every time I log on.
Hmm.
The 2 girls talking to me about everything. Stop. Just let me jump into the game and start playing.
Now you can be mad. The internet
I
will
don't
be
wanna
mad
hear
when they
it.
do take it away. It'll be gone. Everybody's like, but I like them. It's like
I like the morning announcements.
What about single player campaign? Like I feel like that could be an area that they could come out of nowhere with. Not that they didn't have it before, but if it was more prominent and worthwhile, I feel like that could be a little something. I don't know exactly how they do it though.
Did they
You could
did
play
the
like on your
DLC
own.
Did the DLC have that?
I didn't even download the DLC actually.
The Octo expansion,
Yeah.
isn't that like more campaign? Or
And
am I
also
making
you
that
have
up?
to, I think so. But you do have to go download that. Even if you are on Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack and you go play it, it'll prompt you to go download it and access it. So just because that's what I ran into. Game
do you
Nasty says you
feel
can league
about-
at any. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
Game Nasty says you can league at any level after 10, but if you're playing ranked and you could put in a team, it would be your rank. That's why I think it's fair for ranked. But that's only ranked. Like for me,
I don't
just
wanna play ranked.
I see how skilled people are at Splatoon. Like I don't want to go anywhere near ranked. Like that's my issue with it.
Right. It should just be, there should be absolutely no reason that you can't make a party and then go into a game.
Totally.
Like,
Imagine
that's
playing
ridiculous.
Halo and all you could do is play
You can't.
Slayer. You can't play
Right.
Capture the Flag. You can't play whatever else. Like it's just silly. And that's
And
what
you have
Splatoon
to
does.
You have to join one at a time and hope that everyone gets in there fast
Insane.
enough.
Yeah,
It's so
absolutely crazy.
stupid.
Even like they figured it out in other games. Like ARMS has obviously a great lobby system. We've talked about that before. Even Mario Kart is fine. You start up a room and everything. Well, actually, maybe Mario Kart's not quite it. Maybe those are different examples of just how you play public matches with friends. It's all you want to do, you know,
Right.
just squat up.
Yep. And I should be able to pick who is on my team, because then you join. For
Mhm.
those of you who haven't played, you join and then you get thrown into this game of 8 people, and
Yeah.
you're not even guaranteed to be playing on the same team as your friends.
That's like
They're
adding
just
insult
thrown
to
on the other
injury.
team.
It's
It's
brutal.
the dumbest thing.
It is brutal. One thing I've wanted for a really long time, actually, well, 2 things. One, give a Splatoon Battle Royale. Just throw 100 people in there and
Oh,
let's just
yes.
go to the end. The second thing that is maybe a little bit more realistic is I would actually like Splatoon 3v3v3. I would like to have 3 teams of 3 all battle each other. I think like a third team would be like this really interesting kind of dynamic if you could
Yeah.
do that. Totally
fun.
unexpected. Yeah. I think that
You
could be
probably have
fun.
Would you have to have a bigger board for that, you think, or you think it's big enough?
I think there'd be like maybe some levels would be better than others. And you see that often when you have multiplayer maps built for more people. But that's why I would go with probably 3v3v3. So you have 9 instead of 8, right? Because you have 4 on 4. So you just do a little.
Yeah.
I've done the math before a couple times. I've
Yeah, you
I've
know.
got like the
You got
push
it
pins
all
and the yarn.
planned out. Right. Okay. Well, we need to talk about the topic, the main topic of the show today, which was the Nintendo Mario movie getting delayed.
So weird.
Delayed to April 7th.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally set to be released December 21st. There was a weird tweet about it. And
Tell me how you really feel, Caito.
it was a weird tweet. So, what do you think about this? I could care less, honestly.
Oh no, really?
I don't know. Whatever. But what does this mean for your wonderful Mario holiday release game?
I have to be honest. That was the first thing that came to mind. I was first disappointed in probably no Mario game, and then kind of came back around to the actual news itself. It's like, does that even make sense anymore? Do they have a Mario? So for those who don't know, I thought that made a lot of sense for a Mario game to launch this holiday alongside this movie that was supposed to launch this holiday. So now that that's not happening, what does that mean for the game? I still think they can stick the landing with the game if that's what they have planned. I think that, but I do think it's weird that a movie is getting delayed. I think that's kind of, usually you hear like, usually like games get delayed. You just don't really see too many, like movies stick the landing is what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's very rare that this happens. Although it does, I think one of the news articles I saw said that like John Wick was getting delayed, and of course Top Gun had been delayed like a year. Maverick is probably my most anticipated movie of the year. Love me some Tom Cruise. Don't care how crazy he is. But I think this is still happening. One of the first thoughts that came to my mind was I've been ranting and raving about the Sonic movies.
I was about to ask if it have to do with Sonic.
I don't know. Like, do they even acknowledge Sega? Have they ever acknowledged? Like, do they? I don't know. I don't think so. But it is weird. It gives me a lot of pause on. It's a little weird. Like, is this going well? This movie, or hasn't been going well? What do you even like? What does that delay even mean? It's December to April. It's like 4 or 5 months kind of thing.
What can they change in that 4 months? What can they work on?
I have zero idea about how movies are made. So is that a complete redo? Like, is it a couple scene changes? Do they recast Chris Pratt? Like, where are they at with this one? It was a little telling that we haven't seen anything about it. I think we've talked about that last week or the week before. That like games, sometimes you can understand they want to keep it under wraps, but movies you see trailers a year in advance, like get you hyped about it. Yeah. It's a totally different promo cycle, and we hadn't seen anything on this one.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it doesn't like,
well, no, I don't.
You're not crying about it.
I'm not crying about it. I was going to say, I hope it means no Mario game this holiday, but I still want a Mario game, but I just want you to be wrong.
This whole like predictions game gets into our psyche a little bit, like whether it's fantasy or just making guesses here. Like you want to be right, but you still want to, or you want the other person to be wrong, but you still want to play the fun games.
I think I officially said Donkey Kong.
Yes. 2D Donkey Kong and Nintendogs.
But I'm also hoping for that Metroid Prime 4 for the Fantasy League. If I only want it because I think it would be hilarious that all of y'all were so wrong. I know I'm wrong
about Metroid,
but I think it would be more funny if y'all were wrong.
I appreciate going for it. I gotta say,
that's it.
Sometimes you just gotta throw.
It's one of those things like I'm not gonna win. So
look, I bet $50 back in the day that Cyberpunk 2077 was gonna launch day and date into Game Pass. So, which obviously didn't happen, and huge. So yeah, I appreciate the never gonna happen. But if I'm right, nobody was saying it but me. You know, right. I like that energy. You
just got to throw a couple of those out there just in case, because then you can tweet about it later.
Exactly. Yeah. But people are on to me. I think there was Argo and a few others were like, but how many times have you been wrong? And I don't, you know what? I see what you're doing there, guys, but I don't appreciate it. We'll recap my 2022 predictions pretty soon here. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. Need that Persona 4 gold to really hit it.
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah. There's another one on there that I felt like was likely, but I don't remember what.
On yours or mine?
No, on yours.
I already got Strikers. I said OLED Switch Lite, I think was on there as well.
I think was the one I was like, that could totally happen for holiday.
That'd be huge. Wouldn't that be amazing?
A holiday.
That'll be my
OLED Switch Lite.
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay.
Should we let people in the car?
We need to let people in the car. We have to answer at least like 2 of these questions. Yeah. We have a lot and we're running out of time. So let's see. Todd Oxtra asks, what sports do you want them to add in the future to Switch sports? Could we see croquet, mini golf, or pickleball?
Pickleball makes a lot of sense, especially given that Wii Sports was made for grandparents. Like Todd Oxtra. I didn't even want to say it. I'm just kidding. I love you, Todd.
What about frisbee golf?
Oh, that
It's a
would be
little frisbee
amazing.
golf.
Oh, that would be. Oh, you're just asking
would
for the Joy-Con. I almost called it a Wii remote for the Joy-Con to get thrown into the TV.
Yeah.
What's missing? Isn't something like missing that was in boxing or fighting or whatever was missing
Boxing.
before? That'd be kind of interesting to have to come back. But I think we've talked about that before.
I don't know if I care about boxing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
wanna
like
do the little
the sword
jousting
fighting.
thing.
I
Yeah.
went back and I watched our reaction to it, and like the first thing I said was, "I can't wait to fight you and knock you off that platform." Yeah,
I don't know if I
Jaywalk
can
wants
think of much
boxing.
else.
Cloverleaves wants
Yeah.
boxing back as well in the chat. Disc golf, Snack Network likes that
Disc
one a
golf.
lot.
Yeah.
hmm
Wow.
like it.
I have a good idea every now and then.
Hockey, you gotta have hockey. I'm surprised
I
they
was
have
gonna
soccer
say
in this thing.
competitive cheerleading, but I don't think that works out so well. Can you?
It has already been brought in.
Yeah. Okay. Gingy37. I wonder how many people with a Switch Lite will buy Switch Sports only to realize they need Joy-Con to play it. And I saw this question and I was trying to think of something comes to mind. When I worked at GameStop, we would have this issue where like there was always that one thing there had to be like, okay,
Yeah.
do you have this particular system? And then you would get the people who were like, no, what is that? What's going on? And like really glad
Yeah.
that we were trying to help them. And then you would get the people that were like, of course I do. I know I know my games. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, well, I don't know that you know your games. I don't know
Yeah,
that you know the
you
difference
look the
between
same as that other person who walked in here.
because I feel like there was 1 or 2 games. Do you remember this that came out for the new 3DS
Oh, yeah.
that didn't work on the 3DS?
Yeah,
It was
for
only
sure.
a couple of them.
Mhm.
It was only a couple. And we had to be like, do you have the new 3DS?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I mean, it's new. And I'm just like, no, no, no.
Oh, I know the branding on that.
Do you have
Yeah.
the new 3DS? Oh, it was a nightmare.
Yeah. I wonder, like, this is one of those things that you hope is kind of obvious, but I guess it isn't for, like, you just get surprised by this kind of stuff all the time. That, like, you look at the game, you look how it's played, and it's kind of obvious that you're not going to be able to do that with the Switch Lite, but it was a problem with the design of the Switch Lite from day one and I'm actually surprised, like, even looking back that they even did something like this. Because the whole notion of the Switch, the fact that it's even called a Switch, like, you can plug it into your TV and then you can go and you can do all these things to it. Like, they really changed it quite a bit. Like, those two pieces that you can't dock it, you can't detach the Joy-Cons, like, kind of hallmarks of what makes a Switch a Switch. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see too. I don't really anticipate it honestly to be like a huge deal, and I don't know why that is, but maybe it's just because it
I
doesn't
think
affect
it'll
me.
just be like grandma buys the game for her grandchild and can't play.
I feel like the Switch Lite
game.
just didn't sell that well compared to there are so many more regular Switches,
Yeah.
and maybe the people who have a Switch Lite maybe already have one. Like, I think about how many people only have a Switch Lite that this would impact, and relatively few, not zero, but relatively
Right.
few.
I feel like a lot of those people are just playing Animal Crossing.
Good point. They're
I
not.
think that's a majority of those people are Animal Crossing people.
Yeah, they're not going to have like
Or
the leg
kids. Like
strap
I
on.
think
Play
or
soccer.
kids. I feel like the only issue is going to be with someone buying it for a kid,
Yeah.
thinking it's something else. Because there are sports games
Mm-hmm.
that you don't need Joy-Con to play.
Oh, for sure,
mean-
for sure. This is very like in the Wii days, it made sense. Like, why did you buy a Wii? Because of the motion controls. Like, the motion
Right.
controls really aren't part of the narrative or expectation. I don't think of the Switch like at all. So this is a bit of a throwback. This is for us old timers who, back in 2006, we're breaking our
Yep.
CRT TVs and our rear screen projection stuff.
All right. I think we got time for one more question. I want to
Yeah.
get to this one from Chris Becker, who asks, here we are in 2022 with some Nintendo first-party games with online. We've got Nintendo Switch Sports, Mario Strikers, and Splatoon 3. I'm wondering how long do you think Nintendo will continue to support these games with new content and updates?
Splatoon
Couple
3, like, I
years.
feel like, and I hope that Splatoon 3 is kind of like a reset on this. Splatoon 2 was supported for a long time. I feel like Animal Crossing is the one that just doesn't get the love, which makes
No.
zero sense.
Don't get me started on
Right?
that.
Like, you look at this question and you think, what's the precedent? How has Nintendo
Yeah.
done this in the past? And in some cases, like, I think Smash, like, got supported for a long time, gave people, like, we were sick of hearing about Smash. Like, we get it, there's another character. And then with Animal Crossing, it was kind of the opposite. What did you get? Like 2 big updates, maybe, if you can call them that.
Yep. Well, like, yeah, what's the expectation? I think a lot of times it's an unrealistic expectation
Which part?
on the fans' part.
Yeah.
Because for me, my only expectation for continued updates with Animal Crossing is if they went the DLC route.
Right.
Which is why I was initially so excited when they announced the DLC, because I was like, perfect. They're doing paid DLC. They're going to continue to support it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, never mind. We're not.
Yeah.
But then in the back of my brain, the only way that makes sense to me is that they're already working on something else. And they're just like, okay, we need to move on. We need to get everyone working on this next thing. We saw how big this was. We need to make the next thing better. So we got to get working on it. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I think they're already working on it. I think it'll come out in like 2024. That's my prediction for the next Animal Crossing. So I think there is an unrealistic expectation for continued support for a lot of these games. If there's no money going in,
Absolutely,
you're not going to continue to get support for it.
Yeah.
And like, yes, they're making money off of Nintendo Switch Online, but marginal.
Yeah.
So unless there's some kind of like paid continued support on our end, they're not going to continue to support it back. That's why things like The Sims can go on forever and ever and ever, because they're charging $40 a pack.
Yeah.
For
and
everything
people are happy
that
to
they
pay
make.
it, by
and
the way.
People are happy to pay it. I would be happy to pay, like, I would be happy to continue to pay for something that I loved, to continue to get support for it.
Big time.
But,
yeah, it seems kind of spoiled. I'm going to pay $60 and they better keep this game around forever for me.
For as long as I want to play it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, Mario Kart is kind of there, but a little still not enough. It's too late. Although people are still buying the game, so what do I know about any of that?
I feel like 2 years is
it's a lot.
Kind of the happy medium. Like, I think that's it. That's what you could expect from
without paid
any of these games without paying.
Yeah. And I will like gladly, honestly, I would gladly do like a $20, even if it's like a $20 every year. It's not going to be like that for anything, but like if they did like an Octolink expansion for Splatoon or Strikers, I would like to see, like, I'd do like character packs for that as well. Like if that's what keeps that game alive, then great. But yeah, the other thing is like how many of us actually play these games forever? Like you're playing Animal Crossing forever. That's one thing, and there's 60 million people playing Animal Crossing forever. But most of us, or the rest of us, I guess I should say, bounce from one game to the next to the next to the next, regardless of how much they put into these games to keep them around. So to that degree, it doesn't really matter. So but I would never want to make games. How do you please everybody? Like, honestly, there's no way.
Right. All right. Well, Sean, we got to wrap it up. So where can everyone find you on the internet? I
had a great time talking about how right I was today. And Squishmallows and your little pig microphone was very, very sweet. Yes. Very fun time today. People can find me on Twitter and on Twitch at Sean Capri. It's Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. And if people like the show even just a little bit, you can support me and Caito over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming.
And you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at Console Caito. That is all for episode 52 of the Nintendo Drive. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, let us know in the comments what you think about the Mario movie being delayed.
Here we go!